Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Welcome to the second Positively Disney Phone-In podcast. My name is Kimberly Bouchard, and I'm actually the author of the Positively Disney books from where this show comes from. I really had a great time last week and really enjoyed the people that called in and your comments, and actually missed you guys, so I'm glad that you can join me. I wanted to do this podcast because as an author and writer, there are so many stories out there that people can share, and so many people have stories. And I just really wanted to bring you all together in that spirit to be able to share your stories on the show. And I love meeting people and talking Disney and writing stories and sharing them. And I just really look forward to hearing from you. And with that, I'm going to go to our first caller. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
And who am I speaking to, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Mike, and I'm actually calling from Kissimmee, just down the road from the Magic.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing tonight?
Lovely. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. What would you like to share with us tonight?
So, I kind of got into this a little bit later in life, but we're always kids, right? So It wasn't hard to fall in love with the classic Mickey. I adore him for all my life. I'm in my 40s now, but anyway, my wife and my 3 boys, we drove down from Michigan a year ago last week, and so we're living, I think, 8 or 9 miles from the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah.
A little different than Michigan, huh?
Quite a bit. Yeah, I grew up in Canada. I'm a proud Canadian, but I love my Wolverines, and we're from Michigan, and we just wanted to change. We're sick of the Midwestern winters, as many folks are in this area that have come from the north, and there just wasn't a lot of fun recreational stuff that there was when I was a kid growing up to do. So we said, let's trade in our winters for some crazy warm summers, and having worked in hospitality most of my adult life, I thought, why not Florida, where there's, the hospitality capital of the world, kind of, I think.
For sure, yeah, I think so.
Should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And you have made it to the parks, obviously. What had you been to the parks before moving to Kissimmee?
No, not at all. Again, family of 5, the idea of flying down and staying for 5 or 10 nights somewhere, whether on property or not, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. We did a cruise, and that was huge. But
wow.
That was a dream. That wasn't for us. That was for the other half, I suppose you could say. But then, like I said, we moved down here, and then it was kind of actually, conceivable. It was something we could actually maybe do.
Yeah.
And got a job actually recently, and I'm actually working for the Mouse. So this whole year has been kind of surreal, but in a really good way.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool too. Had you thought about working for the Disney company years ago, or is that something that just sort of, I guess, transitioned you into since you moved there? Is that
right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a great question, actually. When we actually planned moving down here, I think it was around November, December of 2015, I didn't even think of that. Again, I still kind of thought that was more out of my reach. Maybe, not sure why I felt that way. Maybe because I've been a stay-at-home dad with 3 little baby boys for 8 years. Kind of out of the game, I guess. But no, I came down here, and my wife, Julie, definitely my better half, she encouraged and prodded me along that route, and I took it. And embarrassingly enough, can I say this, last June when I applied, I didn't get in. I didn't even get past the first stage.
Oh.
There's a web-based interview, they call it. So it's just like a nice internet, portion. And I didn't make it. So I felt destroyed. I was so embarrassed.
Wow.
And you have to wait X amount of weeks or months, which is understandable because Disney, if you can imagine, is so inundated with applications.
Right.
And that was frustrating, but I did. But I learned in that time how to make the next application a bit more successful, and it worked out great. And a lot of hoops to jump through, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And they're very thorough, but once you make it, you feel like $1 million because they look at only the best and they pick the best, and apparently I guess I'm one of them.
Oh,
and
that's
just ecstatic to be a part of that team.
Oh, congratulations. That is so
thank you.
awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get a chance to go into the parks then, Mike, with your hours or your job, or are you pretty busy working?
I'm pretty busy right now just because I'm kind of hunkering down. We just finished training. I'm not sure if you know this, but when you're done training, you earn your ears, which is adorable.
Oh.
And again, makes me feel like I'm 8, and I'm getting paid to feel like I'm 8. I'm definitely not 8. I just turned 43. So, so my wife and kids get to go, and that's a privilege that they get to enjoy. We try to keep it to around like once a month or so. We don't want to spoil them too much.
Oh, okay.
But I can go when I would like, except for a few dates here and there, of course. And I actually went the other day after work simply because I could.
Oh, that's so amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
to just be able to go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's a big move to, with your children, and then to actually begin working for the company. That is just terrific. I wish you guys all the best. That is so awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, and I guess you have many more, you will have many more memories, both as a cast member, I guess, and as a guest in the years to come, which is wonderful. How old are your children, Mike?
So my boys are 8, 7, and 5.
Oh,
so
my
they're
gosh.
very close in age, and they're my Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Oh.
They're my little ducklings. They drive me crazy a little bit, but that's their job, right? They're little boys. So I always I brag about them just a little bit, a little biased.
Yeah.
But they're my joy. And we had a great Father's Day this weekend, and they made me feel like $1 million, which was just delightful. It was just amazing. So, and we actually, speaking about the parks, we went to Epcot for a few hours. So can't really do much better than that on Father's Day.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's so wonderful. And that's such a wonderful age. I mean, going to the parks with kids at any age are great, but I love that particular age because they're definitely more interactive with everything and more aware of a lot of things that are going on. So that's so wonderful. Gee, thank you, Mike, for calling in. I appreciate that. And
no problem.
You have a great year in your new venture as a cast member.
Thank you. I will. And congratulations for you and what you're doing. We're excited to hear what else you can provide for us in terms of entertainment and fun news and knowledge. And keep up your good work.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're at number 2, so we're going to do 4 shows, take a break for the summer, and then come back on the 18th of September. So, it's pretty exciting and a little nerve-wracking too, but very, very glad to be here and make sure that people have a platform to speak, instead of just a little blurb here or there on a Facebook page. It's really, that's the ideal situation for people to be able to share their stories and not be shy about sharing their stories. So people are a little bit scared.
If anyone's listening and they're thinking about moving, make sure make sure you plan it out. Don't just on a whim move. But if you do want to move and you're going to plan it, do it. Don't hesitate. Do what you got to do. Stick to your guns and make the plans and, just be prepared. Orlando's a great town. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to live. But like any move, you just got to be prepared and just do all your due diligence, I guess. And but make it happen. Go for it. So
that's great.
I'll leave you with that.
Good wise words to share. So if anybody is thinking about moving near Walt Disney World, to plan for it and dreams
definitely.
can come true. Even in your 40s. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Never felt younger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. Listen, have a great evening.
I will. You too. Thank you so much. Take care now.
Okay. Thank you too. Bye-bye. My goodness. I hear so many different people that are moving to Florida to be closer to Walt Disney World. And it's always nice to hear when things work out for people. that age group of the 5, 7, and 8, I think was his children's age. I remember our children at that age. And we actually did a surprise visit to Walt Disney World one year. Actually, I was surprised. I was on one of the receiving ends for a visit, and our children were at another. And I'll never forget that. It was really, really fun to surprise somebody on a trip to Disney World. And I'm actually going to go to my next caller. Hello, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you doing? Where are you calling from today?
Hi, I'm doing very well. I'm actually calling from my uncle's house in California, Covina, California.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So,
yeah.
How far is that from Disneyland?
It's actually about. Let me try to figure it out. Usually, I mean, I figure theoretically it should take 20 minutes.
Oh,
but
wow.
Whenever we've stayed here with him and gone to Disney, it's about a 45-minute to an hour drive. So.
Oh, is that traffic?
Yeah.
Or? Oh, okay.
Yes, it's good old California traffic.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's so cool. So, have you had a lot of experiences at Disney? And is there anything you want to particularly share with us tonight?
Oh, of course. Well, I've actually had a lot of experiences with Disney. My parents, they sing in a band. And so when I was, so I'm 21 now. And when I was 5, they were in about 4 or 5, I think. They were invited to sing at a church down in Florida. And so actually ever since I was 4 or 5, I've been to either Disney World or Disneyland once every year since then.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed to be able to experience it as much as I have.
Wow. So which park how do you compare the two? I'm curious because I've been to 3 different parks. So I'm curious, what do you think about the 2 parks?
Well, so I don't know. I think my whole thing is, I really think that Disney World is just the sheer expansiveness of it all, and just, how big it is, how the scale of it is in awe to behold. It's awesome. But the thing about Disneyland that I think I hold closest to my heart is the fact that it's the original.
Okay.
I mean, it's been there. It's what everything's based on. You can walk into Magic Kingdom at Disney World and, it's essentially Disneyland, but there's nothing like walking into Disneyland and knowing that it all started there. Everything that we're talking about right now, that's where it all started. So I don't know. It's hard for me to compare. Although I haven't been to Disney World in a really long time, so I'd like to go back there. I've been to Disneyland a lot more in the recent years.
Okay. What is your earliest memory? So you're 21. So what would be kind of your earliest memory of your Disney visits?
My earliest memory? Oh. So I guess my earliest memory, I guess before I was 4 or 5, I went when I was 2. And I think my earliest memory is it's now the Paradise Pier Hotel at Disneyland, but I believe then it was called the Disney Pacific.
Okay.
And I remember staying in that hotel and walking out of it to go to the park. That's like my first memory.
Oh
but
my gosh.
The real one I have with my family though is when I was 4 or 5 and I did go to Disney World for the first time, and driving into the gate, and I saw, you drive into any of the Disney World properties and they have the whole, I think where dreams come true or something. It's a big banner and you have the characters there.
Yeah.
On the way. And I think that's my first big memory. And I remember my parents were hyping it up. They were like, Vanessa, look outside. And I was just all like, oh my gosh. And to this day still, if I'm ever in Orlando, or if I'm there, I pass by and I get that feeling again of being like 4 or 5 and seeing it for the first time.
There's something about that sign. I know going under it, it's kind of, it makes your heart kind of do a little flip flop.
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah. Oh, that's
it's so interesting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's so wonderful. Yes. To be able to say that you've been to both parks, several times in your young years, that is really phenomenal, because I do recognize, a lot of people get there only once in their life, right? Or they might just be there or can't even get to the park, as a youngster and wait till they're an adult. So that's so nice. I'm so glad that you were able that you've been able to go and continue to go. It's just adds to the memories. You must have quite a collection.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. And I've been even more fortunate because I remember, actually, I think another memory is when I was 6, I got to go on the trip with my parents, and then my aunts and my uncle and my cousin came from Oregon, and then my cousin from New York came with us, and so did my grandparents. And it was that was a huge trip we took, and it was a year before my grandma had passed, so she got to experience that with us.
Oh, wow.
So it's not only have I been able to go so many times in my life that I'm so fortunate for it. I'm so thankful for it. But I've been with these huge groups of family and friends that I love. It hasn't ever been just, of course, going with my parents is great. But, it's always kind of been a big family occasion whenever we go, even though we do go as often as we do.
Oh, that's so awesome. And, there's so many people that go as families, they go as solos, they go as couples. And it's really nice to hear that you still enjoy going with your family. That is really nice. So have you done it? Have you ever gone without your family yet, or?
I've never gone. No, I have not gone to the Disney parks without some sort of family. Actually, hang on. Let me rewind. We actually, I said we were in Covina, California, visiting some people right now.
Yeah.
2 days ago, we were at Disneyland. Actually, just like 2 days ago, we were there.
Oh, cool.
And so that was the first time I actually, at some point, my parents and my little brother had to leave, and so that was the first time I was ever in the park alone. Like ever in my life, and it was only for 2 hours, but it was kind of a weird experience. It's interesting to go by yourself. You notice more things when you're by yourself.
Really? Okay.
But other than that, I've never really been on a trip to it by myself.
Okay. I have never been there by myself either. And I'm not too sure if I will be one day, but I know there's a lot of people that go solos. That's kind of their break. And I think it depends what you're used to, really.
Right.
But it does give you a different perspective for sure. And you get to do all the things that you want to do and not have to worry about anybody else, right?
Exactly. Which I definitely took advantage of that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but my family, especially at Disneyland, Indiana Jones and Jungle Cruise are right next to each other. So we haven't been on Jungle Cruise in years.
Oh.
So when I was alone, my one thing, I was like, I'm going to go on Jungle Cruise no matter what. So I got to go on Jungle Cruise for the first time in like 10 years.
That's so funny. And I just learned not too long ago that the Jungle Cruise is actually my husband's favorite ride. And I couldn't figure out all these years, he always wanted to do the Jungle Cruise. And I thought, well, we've done that a few times. There's other things we can go on, or, it would just kind of sort of a half thought, And then I don't know, I decided to ask everybody what their favorite rides were, because everybody, just goes along with it. And then I found it was Jungle Cruise. So I just laughed and I thought, oh my gosh, I've been married how long? And I just found out my husband's Jungle Cruise is his favorite ride. Anyways, Vanessa, thank you so much for calling in. I sure appreciate that. And are you going back to the parks, or was that 2 day your sort of time there at Disneyland?
No, we actually it was a mad dash. My little brother was actually at a volleyball tournament right across the street at the Anaheim Convention Center. So his day was over at about 2, and we rushed over to the park, and we stayed there from about 3 to 11:30.
Oh, wow.
So that was we kind of just ran around.
The condensed version.
Crazy. Yeah, very condensed. Crazy it wasn't, and very nice, but it was crazy not busy. It was weird. It was like one of the non-busiest times I've ever been to Disneyland.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
we were able to just get a bunch of stuff done in the 8 hours we were there.
Wow.
was our only time we were, and it was looking a little shaky too. We didn't know we were going to be able to go. So we were like, okay, we have the time. We got to go. We got to do it. So,
oh, that's so fun. Well, I wonder if kids are in finals or something like that and they're studying or whatever, not hanging out in the parks. But, oh, that's great. Right. That's great. I'm glad you got a lot done because Disneyland can be, well, I mean, they can all be very busy, but Disneyland particularly, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we actually ran into some grad night celebrations. So we kind of hopped out of there as soon as we saw the grad night people coming in. We were like, we can't stay anymore.
Yeah, that would be a little wild to have all the graduation parties there with you.
It definitely was. We saw more and more coming in, and we go, all right, it's time for us to leave.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great. Well, listen, safe journey back, and thank you for calling in. It was really a pleasure speaking with you.
Of course. Thank you for letting me call in.
All right. Okay. Take care, Vanessa.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. It makes my heart smile a little bit when I hear younger people still going with their families. We're actually going on our family vacation, and our daughter will just be turning 21. But I'll never forget the surprise that we had given our children one year. They were quite young, about probably close to Mike's children's age, and I had all the suitcases packed probably the week before and kind of hidden in storage. And we told the kids, we said, there's a special visitor coming tomorrow and you need to be in bed. So I think they were in bed asleep by about 7 a.m. or sorry, not 7 a.m., 7 p.m. And we woke them up a few hours later and said, hey, would you guys like to go to Disney? And they kind of woke up startled. They thought it was morning and they were very excited to go. And at that time, a van was just as the same price as calling a limo to the house. So we had a limo all set up to drive us to the airport. And we had said to the kids that we'll just stop by and say goodbye to Grandma and Grandpa, and we'll see them when we get back. And it was so fun because it was on our way out of the city to the airport anyways. And we stopped and they were ready to get out to say goodbye to Grandma and Grandpa. And who jumps in the car but Grandma and Grandpa? And they were coming with us to Disney World. And we had just such a wonderful, wonderful trip that time. And it was just really nice to have my parents along with us. They were always up for different adventures and, just wherever we thought would be fun in the parks, they would go to. And I'll never forget, that was the year that we first experienced the Mickey's Christmas party. And we didn't expect it to be so chilly. And at least we had our winter jackets, but I'll never forget, it was, 11 Celsius. So I'm sorry, I don't know what Fahrenheit is, but it was pretty darn cold. It wasn't freezing, but it was pretty cold with that dampness. And we bought all those really thick Disney Mickey, I think some were lit up, and a goofy Christmas cap to keep ourselves warm, keep the heat in our heads. And so the seven of us, I think all the boys, including my dad and my husband, had hats that lit up actually. And it was really a lot of fun. We were just, we were kind of lighting up the night that time, walking around the park. I was going to share with you another little surprise visit that I was the recipient of going to Walt Disney World. My husband actually first introduced me to Walt Disney World, and he said, I'm going to take you somewhere. I don't want to tell you where we're going. And I said, well, how am I supposed to pack? Because I kind of like to be prepared and make sure I have what I need. And so that's where my mom came over and helped me pack. But my mom was pulling out all kinds of strange clothing and had me really confused as to really where I was going to be going, because she had everything from winter stuff to just, long sleeve shirts for the mosquitoes and you name it. She was really pulling one over on me. At any rate, we go to the airport, and at that time we lived in Canada. So my husband went ahead and told the customs agent not to tell me where we were going. And the guy went along with it. It was quite funny. And I still didn't know where we were going because we were going to be transferring. And so we, as we were flying into our transfer place, I can't even remember which city it was in the US, they had given 4 possible destinations for a connection. I still had no idea where I was going. And I was thinking as I said, I had no idea I was going. I was thinking about all these scenarios of the 4 different places to connect to. And it wasn't until we were just about boarding at our gate that I found out we were going to Walt Disney World. And that was really fun. That was before we had kids. And it was a really nice surprise, actually. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have had any surprise vacations to Disney or any of that. One thing that I remember very fondly of, I don't know what it is about surprises, but this was a little bit of another surprise. It was back in 2009 or 2010 in the summertime, and we had driven our RV to Fort Wilderness at the campground there in Disney World. And I had just happened to phone home to talk to my mom, and she was with my uncle, and he mentioned that his son and wife, and so my cousins and their 7 children were staying at Fort Wilderness at the same time we were. Now you have to understand, so we were from Alberta and they were from Saskatchewan, and just, living a 7-8 hour drive, we sort of kept in touch a little bit through our parents. And it was so amazing that they were at the park at the same time. Well, I wanted to wait around and see if they'd come back. And of course, they didn't come back all night. And so we gave up our evening in Animal Kingdom because Animal Kingdom was open till, I don't know, I think 1 a.m. or something like that. But I really just didn't want to miss my cousin. So I left a note. And early the next morning, on our way out, we had to leave that day. We got in touch and we had a great visit. And it was such a wonderful time. Our children met their cousins and I met all of their children. And it was just such a surprise, such a coincidence to be coming so far away from Canada and then running into each other at exactly the same time at Fort Wilderness. So you never know who's going to be nearby when you're on vacation, that's for sure. And somebody just told me 11 Celsius was 51 Fahrenheit. So you get an idea of how chilly we were walking around with the humidity of the park. At any rate, I will have time just to kind of wrap up in a little while here. But I was wondering if any of you listeners have actually been to any of the other parks besides Disney World and Disneyland. I've been to Disneyland Paris, and it was only for one day. But I have hopes that I will make it to Shanghai Disney, where they have a pirate world or pirate part of the park, and Tokyo Disney, and the water area in China. I think it's in China, and Hong Kong Disney. So I'd like to hopefully get to all those someday. But I'm just wondering if any of you listeners have had a chance to visit any of those other parks, because they all have a really different flavor, as anybody that has been to more than one of the parks can attest to. So if that's all there is tonight for calls, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me tonight and listening in. And I actually could read the comments tonight because I kept my glasses on. So have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next time and hearing from you next time. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now.